All right. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to Day Trading Live. Welcome to my channel. My name is Clinton. This is your first time here. This is Blackwing Trading. I am a futures trader, funded trader with Top Step, and I go live for pre-market analysis, live trading. And this is the first time where I'm going live starting Monday through Friday. Initially, this channel was just live streaming on Friday, but now we are live streaming Monday through Friday, where you can see live trading. And I can show you my process, and hopefully with the goal that if you are new to trading or if you are thinking about trading, you can see that this is something that is attainable for you. So I want to jump right into the markets, into the channel, into the charts. So I have the my 5-minute chart up right now, Thinkorswim, but I'm gonna go ahead and put it out to the 4-hour so we can kind of see the big picture of what's been happening. This is probably going to be a lazy week. Not too much market data and stuff coming out. We had a big week last week with a lot of data that was important to the market. But nevertheless, we can kind of look at where we're at. So as I talked about last Friday, the market has saw a pretty big run up over the past couple of weeks, all the way to all-time highs, 64, 68. And then starting with the Fed meeting, the market started pulling back. Because the Fed decided to keep the interest rates the same. And then we had a jobs report. Revisions went way down the jobs. It was found out that the jobs are supposed to be like 104,000 estimated, but it came out to be 73,000. And then from the previous months, the jobs were revised down as well. And so that caused the market to pull back a little bit. And so between those two things, the markets pulled back Friday all the way down to like the 62.40 area. So, you know, that's almost a 200-point move down from the all-time highs. It was from a few days earlier. And so it pulled back to that area. And then you can see, if we look at where we're at right now, the market started to pull up overnight, you know, to try to recover from the hits from last week. And so that's kind of where we at right now. So what are those key levels that we need to look at? Key levels. All right. The one I've been looking at now, 62.40 was a low for last week. And so that's something you can definitely look into. 62.40 if the market turns down. Right now it's hovering right at 6,300, and so that's a psychological level. The market likes those nice round numbers, and so it's you can see that it gained ground from 62.40 up to 62.60 when it opened last night, and steadily rose from 62.60 up to 6,300, and so now it's just hovering around 6,300. But if it decides to go down, you can see it go down to the key areas that we identified on Friday, which is 62.90, 62.70, and then down 62.60, and even further than that, down to 62.40. So those are, you know, kind of key levels that we can see that the market is trading at. If it starts to go up, you got the 63.10 and 63.15 supply area here right above that. You definitely have the 63.30 area, which is where the market traded at as it began to come down, and then bounced off that and traded in the area a little bit. So I'll be looking at that 63.10, 63.30, and then if it goes up beyond that, I mean, you could possibly even get up to 63.45, 63.50. But we'll see if that happens. As always, we allow the market to tell us what it's going to do. So, you know, I don't make a decision about which direction I'm going to trade. I see what the market tells me which direction it's going to go, and then we trade in that direction. So that's kind of where we're looking at right now on the big picture on the 4-hour of where we're trading at. So we take it back in closer. You can see how the market traded overnight when it opened. It was around 62.60, as I talked about. Came through this 62.70 area, traded up. You can see it bounced off 62.90, came down, traded around that area again, came down, and then this morning it started to trade up and above it, and it bounced off 63.10. And so you can see that it hit 63.10 and then it pulled back, and then now it's just kind of been hovering around 6,300. And so this kind of gives us an idea where the market is trading at, what it wants to do right now. As far as news, I mentioned this earlier. There's not that much news coming out. Definitely not nothing today. There's Fed speak all this week, and what Fed speak is that so the Federal Reserve chairmans, their governors, they had their meeting last week, and so they have kind of like a quiet period, and then they start talking about what they're thinking and all that stuff. So people are interested to hear about what they're thinking and why. Why they dissented, because two people wanted a rate cut, the rest of the market didn't. And so, the rest of the governors didn't go that direction. And so people are going to be listening to that. But as far as data, it's really not that much data happening on this week. There's earnings. So Palantir, which is a big defense company, AI company, they have earnings today after the bell. So a lot of people are going to be looking at Palantir's earnings. And then this is still earnings season, so there's a myriad of companies that's going to be presenting earnings this week. That's going to be happening. But as far as for today, the big name is going to be presenting earnings is Palantir, and that's after the market closes. And so at this point, like I say, what we do is we wait. If you're new to this channel, what I do is I execute an opening range break, a 15-minute opening range break. That's my trading strategy. And so I am waiting for the market to open and then for that to occur. So if I go to my main trading screen, as I said, I am a Top Step funded trader. This is my main screen. I'm down about $47 today. So far, I took a couple of trades this morning, and basically came to about break even. But so I'm at negative $47. And so anyway, we go to do our open range break. We'll see if we can get a couple of good trades out on today. I trade the ES futures pretty much exclusively. I have traded a little bit of the NASDAQ, but more so I trade the ES futures. So that is what I trade, not the micros, but the minis. And trading with having a funded trader with Top Step allows me to be able to trade that. So this is my normal execution trading screen. But my charting and everything is on Thinkorswim. So the market has just been hovering at 6,300. You can see if we get in a little bit closer, it's just basically been hovering right around that, and waiting to see what the market is going to do either way. There's a lot of doji candles in here. These candles where you don't see it up or down, that's an indecision candle. So you got an equal amount of buyers and sellers. And with the market, that's kind of hovering it out right there. This is a 5-minute chart. So this has basically been for the last, 45 minutes or so, since around about 7:45, almost up to 8:30. It's just kind of been hovering in this area up or down. So I'm interested to see exactly what's going to happen. Look like it's trying to make a small move up now, but I'm interested to see what's going to happen with it today. If you're on, let me know you're on. Let's jump in the chat and say hello so I can know you're on. I appreciate the interaction. And then always, if you have any questions about anything, just, you can put it in the chat and I'll answer your questions so we can have some conversation about what's happening on today. But if you're on, if you jump on, let me know you're on. And we're just sitting waiting for the market to open. We got about 5 minutes now before market open. And you can see that the market is just kind of hovering there. A couple of other big names in the market while we're waiting for that. A lot of the tech companies had their earnings last week. And so some of them are doing, pretty well. Some are up, some are down. It kind of depends on what we're looking at. If you got Apple, then go here to Apple. You can see that Apple had their earnings and then they took a big dip on Friday. And then now they're just kind of hovering down here around the 203, 204 area. Apple has a big market share, and so when they move, it affects the market a little bit. You can see Tesla. Tesla was down, and then they made trying to make a recovery going back up from where the ground that they lost on Friday, and they obviously were trading a lot higher early in the week, as high as 330, and so now they're sitting around about $309. And so I'm gonna see if Tesla actually begins to trade up a little bit. And these are big names. These are the top 10 companies in the S&P 500, so you can get an idea what the index is going to do. Nvidia, which is one of the big boys in the market now, they were up at around 185, and they've been coming down slightly. So they're around about 175 right now. So we'll see what they're going to do. They're up from Friday, though. They closed around 173 on Friday, and so they're up about $2, and look like they're trying to make a small recovery as well. Some of the big names that had some big moves last week, Microsoft, they had this huge monster move up after their earnings because they reported great earnings. So they moved from like 509 all the way up to $562. And then the market, they pulled back just a little bit. Some people took some profits from that big monster move up. So that's what we saw over the next 2 days, Thursday and then Friday. And so now they're hovering around about $527, and it's going to be interesting to see what they do. But they had great earnings, and so the market was pleased about that. And Amazon, they had pretty good earnings, but they took a hit when their earnings number came out. It popped up and then it went down, and people took some profits, and so now it's anchoring around about 217, and then we're going to see what they're going to do today. And then Meta was the other big story. Meta really had a monster move up. They released earnings the same time that Microsoft did. You can see they moved from just under $700 all the way up. They were at a high of $784. So, a crazy move up, almost $100 move in the stock. And then some people took some profits off that, but it still hovered around this area, around $745. And then now they're up to $760. And so they've maintained a lot of that move still from where they were at before their earnings. And so, there's a number of a company that you can look at. Meta, made big investments with AI and stuff like that, and it's paying off for them. And so, and they had some good ad revenue among the social media names. And so you can see that they're gaining some ground right now. But if we go back to the futures, you see we're still hovering not too much further than 6,300. It's like 6,302 right now. So we're just sitting here seeing what the market's going to do. One good thing, it is above VWAP and sitting there above the non-exponential moving average. And so that's a sign that, it could move up. And there's a little move right there. So we'll see what happens as soon as this bell opens.
Olive Garden delivery. When a hotly contested
Got about 30 seconds before the market opens.
game night starts to go.
Once again, if you jump on, let me know you're on in the chat. Just let me know that you jumped on in the chat. And there is market open. All right, let's see what we got. Okay, there's a move up. It's just hovering just below the 63.10 right now. On a 15-minute open range break, we allow 15 minutes of price action. We draw out that range, and then we're looking for a definitive move, either above that range or below that range. And also, one thing that I do is I wait for a 5-minute confirmation candle. So if it's going above, I'm looking for another 5-minute candle to make sure that it's continuing in that direction. Then I take the trade. Same thing on below. If it's going below, I wait for a 5-minute candle where the price action is decreasing, and then I'll go short and take that trade. And so that is my strategy in the 15-minute open range break. All right, there's a pop through 63.10. Let's get in a little bit closer just so you can see. Definitely a strong candle up on that first candle. That's a pretty good move right there. Pressing pretty strong. All right, let's see what it's going to do. Oh, yeah, the market is definitely running.
This is the most
Almost coming to the end of this 5-minute candle. I want to see what happens after this, if it's going to pull back or if it's going to continue to move forward. If the market runs and tries to recover a little bit, I can see if we go out to the 15-minute. If it tries to recover a little bit, I can see it running up to 63.20, even 63.30. If it pulls back, we already identified those levels, but it looks like it wants to try to recover a little bit from the ground that it lost. All right, let's go back to this 5-minute chart. Let's see what we got here. All right, look like it is. Yeah, definitely wanting to move up. A strong move up. And we don't chase anything. So even though it is moving up pretty definitively, it's much better to go ahead and wait for this 15 minutes. See if it pulls back a little bit, and then If it retraces some of this move, we'll get in lower instead of trying to get up on the high side. And then we'll be able to have more risk to reward to the upside if it continues to move up. It's testing at 63.20 now. So it's definitely pushing up. I would not be surprised to see it go up to 63.30. Strong volume, definitely. I do overlapping volume where I can see the volume more easily. You can always have your volume down low, depending on who you're trading with and what the platform is, where it can be like in a lower third. But for me, I noticed that usually the volume is not in my scan as much when it's down there. But when I start doing overlapping volume, I can really see the volume come in when it begins to come in. And volume is very important for trading. And so you can see that there's some very strong volume on that first candle. Obviously about to move up, and you can see volume coming in up on the second candle as well. So some strong trading volume. And it just popped up through 63.20. Yeah, this thing is running. Some of a small pullback, but it wants to run. Got about one more minute on this candle. And then we're going to be going to our third candle. We get ready to draw out our caution area. Small pullback to 63.20. All right, here we go. And looks like this next candle is going to be up too. I'm about to get ready to draw out our rectangle here. Might have to adjust it if it continues to go up. All right, adjust these properties and parameters. All right, 6302 was the open. I take this out all the way through the rest of the day. So I change the time here on Thinkorswim. If you're familiar with this, you can change the time if you draw out these rectangles to tell you how far you want it to go out. So I have it go out to 3 o'clock, which is the central standard time that we're trading. That's when the market closes. And then opening at 8:30 And I got it at 6322.5. We're going to leave it there for right now. So it's doing a little bit pullback now for what it did this morning, but very still in strong territory from the pull up. And that's probably just taking some profits from that, those initial two candles moving up. Even though it's pulling back, there's still a lot of buying volume. As you can see, that this candle is being pushed up. So buyers are definitely in control. It's above VWAP, above the 9 EMA. Let's get this music back on. Oh, yeah, that's a strong move up. All right, I'm going to have to adjust this rectangle because it's popping up through that area.
Order filled.
All right. Moving through the 63.20. I'm actually going to take a trade right now.
Order filled.
Oh, and that was a loss there. Okay. And this is 63.26. There we go.
Order filled.
All right, moving to the bottom of this candle right here. Move this up to 330. All right, let me go to my trading screen. I'm in a trade right now, 3 contracts. Looking for it to go to 330. I think if it hits 330, it's going to bounce and turn around. We'll move up to break even. I'll stop up to break even, that is. And I'm looking to anchor. All right, and there we go. So, first first winning trade today. Real winning trade today to get me above in the green. So that was a $525 trade. Put me up now $235. And so now I'm going to wait and see what it gives me. Because it's around 63.30. And I want to make sure that it's not going to pull back or do anything a little bit weird. So I don't want to just go long here now because you can see he's got strong green candles going up. But I want to take that quick trade. And so going back over to Thinkorswim, we can see now we're in the 63.30 supply area. And I want to see what it's going to do. This has been a very strong move up from the open. Almost 30 points. You know, it's kind of sitting in that area right now. It's pulled a little bit below 63.30. $63.30 may be an area to go in reverse and go short. If it's going to pull back, you know, that might be a good area to go in short and then let it ride down just a little bit to maybe take a little trade. But I don't know if it's going to anchor at that area, 63.30, and go down, or if it's going to just pull back, or if it's going to consolidate and move up. think I am going to take one contract down here.
Order filled.
One contract to the downside. Should have went in a little bit higher, but we'll see what it does. And now I have it. If it does pull back, I can see pulling back to about 63.20. Still a lot buying, even though it's trying to pull back just a little bit. I don't like where it has me at right now. I have a stop right at 63.31. So if it pulls up that high, that's all I'm willing to risk. It looks like it wants to turn back around right now instead of continuing to go down. You can see him on the main screen here. It's, yeah, it's gonna stop me up.
Order filled.
Yeah, so it decided to continue to go back up. So that puts me at $20. And don't know what it's gonna do. All right, this is probably gonna be my last trade for the day.
Order filled.
Okay, let's see what we got here. Let me pull this back just a little bit to under this candle. Oh, let me pull that up. All right. Okay, so that trade won. I'm back up $424. And just like that. So that's the power of risk to reward. Lost 200 on the first trade. Gained, 400 plus on the second trade. And so that put me back where I want to be at. But to keep myself honest, let's go ahead. This is going to be my last trade. I don't like taking too many trades because it gets to the point of overtrading. We're about 9 o'clock right now, and I'm $400 up, and I don't see any reason to continue to play along with it, just because usually when I start taking multiple trades like this, I usually end up not going well for me. And so I'm going to go ahead and call it a day, but not bad at a $424 day. After multiple trades, like I say, I was down in the morning, had a good trade up, was up for a while. And then, had a $500 trade, took me up $200. And then, we had that last trade that brought me back to basically break even, $20 up. And then we just had that trade to bring me another $400 or so. Now we're up $424, and I'm going to call that a day. So, what I think the market is probably going to do, I'll go back to this Thinkorswim chart, is in this area. So it's probably going to hover there for a little bit. I thought it was going to pull back. That's why I took the trade down. It did pull back. In all actuality, I probably could have got in at a better point around about 63.29 and 63.30 and rolled it down to 63.26.25. That would have been a good trade going down. I thought it was going to go down further, like around to 63.20, but it didn't. It pulled back up. And so sometimes the market does what you don't think it's going to do. So it turned around, and now we can see it's moving up strong right now. And so actually coming through this area. So it may continue this to run. But in any case, I am going to sign off for today because that is all I am going to do for the day. Thank you for jumping onto the stream. If you jumped on today, make sure you recommend this to somebody. Make sure you like and subscribe as well, so that we have some that interaction and you can see when we're trading. We're going to be here every day. And so until we meet again, thanks for jumping on the stream.